Hey, folks, welcome to Win Anyway Live this Thursday morning. And if you're watching the replay, welcome to you as well. I say that because StreamYard tells me to remember to say hi to the people that are going to watch the replay. But hopefully you're watching it live, although the number says 0. So anyway, most of you are going to watch the replay, it appears. What do you do when experts disagree? Back in 2006, the first time I competed at the finals level of the World Championship of Public Speaking for Toastmasters, the opening of my speech talked about my daughter, Rachel, the same daughter who just moved out on her own, how she was, 2-3 years old, and she would wake me up by jumping on the bed. Wake up, Daddy, wake up. And she'd stick her tiny little fingers up my nose. Well, that particular line I wanted to show by, sticking tiny little fingers up my nose. Well, I had two coaches at that time, primarily. One was David Brooks, the world champion in 1990, and the other was Randy Harvey, who was the 2004 world champion. Randy Harvey loved the idea of fingers up my nose. David Brooks, not so much, thought that it would be kind of gross and was unnecessary. So what do? Who's right? Two world champions with completely opposite opinions on something that I was thinking about doing, which left the decision, of course, up to me. Of course, the decision when you're getting coached by someone is still always up to you. You're going to make your choice. You've got to live with your choice. That's something you have to keep in mind, is that no matter who's coaching you, when you get up on stage, when you go do whatever it is you've been coached to do in life, in business, in your relationships, whatever it might be, you are ultimately responsible for the actions you take. And you can't blame who you've been coached by, because you've had the opportunity to take that coaching and run that through your own filter to discern for yourself what's going to work for you, what's not going to work for you, and then have the personal responsibility to accept the consequences of the choice you make. If you take their advice, if you don't take their advice, if you choose one person's advice over the other person's advice. For me, in that speech, I went ahead and I did fingers up my nose. I took third in the world that year. Now, who knows? Maybe sticking those fingers up my nose prevented me from winning first place that year. Or maybe sticking fingers up my nose helped me win third place that year instead of not placing, as I did 2 years later in 2008. Or maybe it didn't have any effect at all. But I did what I wanted to do. I did what I felt comfortable with. I did what was authentic to myself as a speaker, and I think the audience had fun with it. So I'm happy with that choice, even if the results were mixed, but still ultimately pretty darn successful. There you go. There's your Win Anyway speaking tip for the day. Go out and speak anyway today. Share your message. Communicate your message with somebody who needs to hear it. I will be here tomorrow on Win Anyway Live.